was respected, the most trustworthy of us all.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is Thursday, the 21st of May 2026. Welcome right into it. This is Career Compass, your weekly guide to navigating the world of careers. It is a 1-hour powerhouse show where we dive deep into the career options available for you locally and globally, and where we talk about all things that affect our society. My name is Kelly Ramazani, and I'm your host. We do this every Thursday, 1 to 2 p.m., only on 90.4 FM if you are in Durban, 105.6 FM if you're in PMB, and anywhere else around the world on www.alansar.org.za. Now, what's coming up on the show today? Well, we're asking you, have you ever experienced unfairness at work or at school and had to stay quiet just to avoid conflict? Have you? Yes, no, maybe. What happened? When was it? Talk to us on 060-904-1056. We'll be joined by Zahira Lokat talking to us about why people don't leave jobs. They don't leave just the job itself, but the environment instead. We'll be opening up the lines, taking in your queries. If you've got any workplace drama, which is one of your favorite segments of this show, we do welcome that. So we're opening up the lines on 0861 904 904, or you can send voice notes, or if you wish to remain anonymous, not a problem at all. You can send a text on 060-904-1056. We do welcome that. We have got so much to offer you, from practical tips to soft skills to workplace drama, like I mentioned, where people email us and send us letters of the things that they're experiencing at work, and we advise them. And I love the kind of community we have built here on this show, where you share your advice, your input, and we air it out. That's what we'll be doing. This and a whole lot more right here, only on 90.4 FM Radio Al-Ansar. You're in safe hands.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Khutamul Islam, and you're listening to Radio Al-Ansar.
WhatsApp us now on 060-904-1056.
Left all my dreams in the backseat. We used to dream with paper planes, wrapped in a cape, planning our escape. Scars on my skin, learn from my mistakes. Tears in my eyes, wiped up from my face. The sun disappears till I hear my name. Cause mama calling out, I'm an hour late. The older I get, the harder I fall. My dreams were so big, even though I was small. I was told that I can't, but I'm still gonna try. Now I'm up in the clouds, with no wings I'ma fly. Oh, fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away. Oh, fly.
Every single place I go, people call me foreign. Laying low lately, that don't mean I can't be sorry. Other side of the globe, somewhere I ain't never been. I was searching everywhere, forgot to look within. Now I understand the world is bigger than the block, yeah. Used to play hot lava, posted at the park, yeah. Now my Akis carry lava cause the block is hot, yeah. Where did all the years go? Can't change the past, but our future yet to unfold. Gotta keep myself driven, never neutral. I've been writing with a purpose, so I speak it for my soul.
And that is it, Fly Away. A beautiful Nasheed will be playing more. You are on 90.4 FM Radio Al-Ansar. It is Career Compass with Kelly Ramazani every Thursday, 1 to 2 p.m. I'm going to be talking about something very... You already know what that word is, right? And that is going to be strategic disobedience. You know, when we were young, growing up, our parents would say, don't question me, listen to me. And so we were encouraged to be obedient, to never question authority. and to just follow instructions. But as we grow up and we start working, and now in the workplace and leadership spaces, and realize, not every rule is productive, not every system is fair, and not every instruction leads to growth. So that's where the soft skill we are going to be talking about comes into place, the strategic disobedience. Now, mind you, I'm not here to encourage rudeness, disrespect, or rebellion. No, that's not what we do here on this show. But we teach you how to raise your voice professionally and wisely. We'll be talking about that shortly. But for now, I have got Inspector Navesh on the line, and we're going to be talking about something important because Qurbani is here, okay, Eid al-Adha, where we do a sacrifice. It is required and recommended for every Muslim, but through that process we have to bear in mind that there are rules and regulations and policies that we have to follow. Okay, so now the National Council of Societies for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, NSPCA, is the statutory body governing animal welfare throughout South Africa. Now, while local SPCAs handle regional domestic animal issues, the NSPCA oversees national issues, including enforcement of animals protection, that is Act 71 of 1962. The Animal Farm Protection Unit directly work with farmers and religious communities to ensure livestock are treated humanly during transport, housing and slaughter. Like I said, on the line we've got Inspector Navesh. We welcome you. Good day, and how are you doing?
Assalamu alaikum to you, Kelly, and to your listeners as well.
Absolute pleasure. Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you for being here. Now, jumping right into it, first things first, what is the NSPCA or the SPCA, and how can we describe it, its role, during this special period, during Qurbani?
Yes, thank you. So the National Council of SPCAs and the SPCA movement in general, the SPCA movement was basically founded for the welfare of animals, to basically ensure that animals are treated with kindness and respect. And the NSPCA and the associated SPCAs enforce national legislation, which is the Animals Protection Act. So all animals in South Africa are afforded protection under this act. And for the purposes of Qurbani or any other religious or traditional slaughters across the country, the involvement of the SPCA is to ensure the humane treatment of animals. And, there is requirements how animals should be transported, how they should be housed, and basically, food, water, shelter provisions. Sick animals have to be taken care of in terms of either being treated by a veterinarian or they are, how can I say it? They are basically put out of their misery in terms of humane destruction or euthanasia.
And what are some of the concerns that the SPCA, the findings that they have during Qurbani, and how can they be corrected or rectified?
Okay, so basically one of the major issues would be transportation of animals. The transport has to be suitable for the species of animals being transported. There has to be on the trailers or the trucks non-slip gridding. This prevents animals from falling over, getting injured. And an injured animal is also not permissible to be slaughtered in terms of Islam. So, those sort of things we look at. The animals should not be tied or tethered. Their legs should not be tied because that causes health issues with the animals. It cuts off blood supply. In terms of the actual slaughtering of animals, one of the major issues we've had as of recent, well, it's been ongoing, but I think last year was one year in particular that majority of the sites did not have proper restraining boxes for the slaughter of cattle. Cattle are large animals, and if they're not restrained properly, they can cause injuries to people around them as well as themselves. A lot of animals we found were being cast with ropes, meaning that their legs were tied and they were dropped to the ground and then slaughtered. Whereas there are proper tools which are called upright boxes or your rotating slaughter boxes. So if the cattle are put inside these boxes, there's no need for casting them, and it also is safer for the handlers and the person performing the udia. So I think one of the requirements for this year is in conjunction with veterinary services is that if there are no restraining facilities at sites, they will not be allowed to slaughter cattle. Or if the cattle are slaughtered, they won't be allowed to be cast with ropes. So, that is one thing that we are looking at as well this year. And, it will be enforced because I think to allow it to happen also invalidates the slaughter of that animal from an Islamic perspective. I mean, the Prophet, peace be upon him, advocated for the humaneness of animals and how they are treated. So, I think as we go along, we need to also follow those and adhere to it, apart from what the law requires.
And when it comes to consequences for anybody that does not adhere to these legislations or national standards, what happens to them?
Okay, because the Animals Protection Act is a statute, it's national legislation. In terms of if we find situations where people willfully are contravening the act, we are then unfortunately forced to intervene, from a legal standpoint, where charges will be laid in terms of the Animals Protection Act. And if found guilty in a court of law, the minimum or the maximum penalty is a 40,000 rand fine and or imprisonment of 1 year in prison, obviously.
Oh my, that's serious.
Yes, it is actually, it's in line with other national legislation. So it is serious when the act is contravened and if any animals are negligently or deliberately cruelly treated.
All right. And now let's talk about something that has been a concern for many people, the foot and mouth disease and how it's spread and how can people listening right now prevent it or take measures to prevent it?
Okay, yes, foot and mouth has been with us for quite a long time in South Africa. Different provinces were affected, but as of earlier this year, the Northern Cape became the last province affected, which means now that all the provinces in South Africa is affected by foot and mouth or FMD disease. It basically affects all cloven-hoofed animals, sheep, cattle, goats. So, with the spread of the disease currently, there's been protocols put in place by the National Department of Agriculture and the respective provincial departments. So what the requirements entail is that there should be registers at sites which details where the person has been, because a lot of people go from site to site, so there has to be some sort of control in terms of where people have been. So registers must be in place, which basically details where people have been, the name of the facility. So if there is an outbreak, the department can then trace where people have been. Each site should also have some sort of the disinfectants in place. It can either be lime. Lime will be used for the actual offal that is, the byproducts after the slaughter. So that is basically to line the pits where these byproducts that is not going to be used for consumption can be disposed of in a hygienic manner. But there should also be products used like F10, which then will, to spray vehicles, the tires, the bumpers, to spray people's boots or shoes. If they have been to another site, then at least there'll be some sort of prophylactic measures taken to minimize the spread of the disease.
Thank you so much for such a detailed response. Now, quickly, is there a closing statement or any advice that you have for our listeners?
Yes. So, we like to basically state that we wish the Muslim community all of the best and a meaningful Eid al-Adha. And like we always do, we like to echo the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, because it is in line with what we do. He basically stated that a good deed done to an animal is like a good deed done to a human being, while an act of cruelty to an animal is as bad as a cruelty to a human being. And that was taken from Mishkat al-Masabi. So, we understand that there's also going to be a lot of, I wouldn't call it tempers, but I think due to the number of, especially at the larger sites, I think we see this quite a lot, where there's a lot of animals, a lot of people. I think one needs to remain calm and, there should be sabr. So the animals then are not treated in a inhumane manner. And I'm not saying it's done deliberately, but I think on those days, there's a lot of pressure put on the organizers to get all of the animals slaughtered, as quickly as possible. But I think we just need to remain calm and treat the animals to the best that they have to be treated in terms of Islamic teachings and in terms of the South African law that protects animals.
Inspector Navesh, thank you so much for your time. We wish you a great evening. Oh, it's still midday. Wow. Okay, well, a great afternoon. I'm really...
Shukran, thank you.
All right, take care and thank you so much. There you have it. That is Inspector Navesh from the National Inspector Farm Animal Protection Unit, talking to us about the protocol and how to slaughter gently, calm, humanly as possible, and with care, because end of the day, it is the responsibility, your responsibility, my responsibility, to make sure that these animals that we're going to sacrifice endure less cruelty as possible. Okay? And after all, we are going to submit this act to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so we should do it with care and love. All right, up next we're going to talk about workplace drama, and we're talking about why people leave their jobs. Is it because of pay? Is it because of their managers? Is it the environment? What is it? We'll find out very soon. You are on Career Campus. I see lots of your messages coming in on 060-904-1056. I say keep them coming. We're going to read them just now.
You've arrived at your destination.
You're listening to Career Compass on Radio Al-Ansar.
Sunfoil has nurtured a legacy rooted from our land. From a sunflower seed grown with goodness and love, crafted through excellence, precision, and care. Proudly South African and the only 100% pure sunflower oil endorsed as a diamond partner by the Heart and Stroke Foundation. Cook with confidence, serving the best to the people you love, from one dish to the next. Sunfoil, the heart of good cooking.
At Absa Islamic Banking, we get that the first lessons about money are never just about money.
2, 3, 400.
And what do we do with it?
We save some and we give some.
That's my boy. They're about responsibility, generosity, principles, and banking that honors your values. Get an Islamic youth account for your children, plus discounted banking for your spouse with Ultimate Islamic Banking. Apply online. Your story matters. Absa. T's and C's apply. Absa is an authorized financial services and credit provider.
Call us now on 0861 904 904.
Al-Ansar Foundation Outreach, in collaboration with IMA Clinics, presents a wellness support program for our communities. Free health screening and health education day. Saturday, 23rd May 2026 from 8:30 a.m. right until 1 p.m. Taking place at the Al-Ansar Community Hall, 189 West Road, Overport. Snacks will be provided. RSVP to radio@alansar.org.za or 083 669 4496.
Radio Al Ansar welcomes your feedback. If you have a broadcasting related complaint, please put it in writing and address it to the head of the complaints committee. Include your full name, contact details, a clear description of your complaint, and any supporting documents. You can email your complaint to feedback@alansar.org.za. That's feedback@alansar.org.za. Or bring it in person to our Pietermaritzburg office at 240 Ortman Road, Willowton. Your input helps us serve you better.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك.
We'd love to meet you. Pay us a visit. Radio Al Ansar.
Career Compass with Kelly Ramazani.
Riveting interviews. Empowering, educating, and appealing.
Open your eyes, my little one. Not long ago I was oh so young. When you wake up and hold your own, know with each wrinkle there's some lessons you'll learn. By the time you learn to love, you'll have to learn to lose. Since one day I'll be leaving you, but hold on tight like you once did. When you get a chance, say and pray it like this. رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. رب ارحمهما رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. رب ارحمهما. The greatest empires have turned to sin, and one day we'll all be joining them. Pray you stay firm, hope you stay kind. Pray you always learn from the best of mankind. By the time you learn to love, you'll have to learn to lose. Soon one day I'll be leaving you, but hold on tight like you once did. When you get a chance, say and pray it like this. رب ارحمهما.
Riveting interviews. Empowering, educating, and appealing.
We'd love to meet you. Pay us a visit. Radio Al Ansar.
Welcome right into it. It is Career Compass, 24 minutes to 2 o'clock. I'm joined by Zahira Lakat. We've spoken before. You know now that she is part of this show and will be coming more often. But before I introduce Zahira, I'll hand her the mic. I also want to acknowledge your messages on 0609041056 that have been coming in. Jazakallah khair so much. Keep them coming. This one says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Kelly. Wa alaikum assalam. All right, wait, there was this message that I opened that I probably forgot. Where is it? Oh, there you go. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ra'is Ahmed from Johannesburg. You are doing very well. Thank you so much, Ra'is. I appreciate that. Some of the messages are coming in through our Facebook, but I ask you to please send it via our WhatsApp. It's easier that way, right? It's easier that way. We also got a message from somebody from Al Ansar home. I don't know if they'll be okay with their name being mentioned on it, but they said excellent topic. Thank you so much. All right. What is the topic that we're talking about? Well, today we are going to be discussing the elephant in the room, right? If you have noticed, more and more young people are leaving the corporate space. They are leaving work not because of inadequate pay or maybe because there's a lack of career growth, which is also a thing, but because there are bigger underlying problems. And that is what we are going to be discussing with Zahira here, who is the founder of ZYY Consulting and Training. Zahira, absolute pleasure having you here. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Wa alaikum salam. I'm alhamdulillah. How are you?
I'm doing well. Absolutely a pleasure having you here. I'm super happy to see your smile. I hope it will be maintained throughout the show because
it always is.
Today's topic is quite heated, but I trust you to be a professional and you know what you... Okay, this is a very long message that we are going to be dealing with in a few minutes.
In a few minutes, yeah. So before we continue, Kelly, please just excuse my voice.
Sure.
It's my sexy radio voice. No, I'm just joking. My son had sports day.
Right.
So I'm one of the mums who cheer on and cheer on. So I'm not sick. It's just my vocal cords gave in.
And that is a supportive mom there saying that she was loud and proud yesterday to a point where she lost her voice. Now, Zahira, let's jump right into the topic for today. Why do people leave jobs, or why do they not leave jobs? Instead, they leave environments. The first question I want to ask you first and foremost, is it possible for a workplace to be toxic without managers or superiors being aware that this is a toxic environment? I know the last time we spoke, we touched on how managers do contribute to a toxic workplace. But now some managers might argue and say, I'm trying my level best to bring about a peaceful environment here. I don't know that this is toxic. Because again, toxicity can be a subjective matter, based on our unhealed or unresolved trauma. Is it possible?
Yeah. It is definitely possible. How is that possible is through the leadership. The leadership needs to acknowledge honestly that there is a problem. And that's where the problem, that is again where the problem comes in. If our leaders can put, let's say, the favoritism aside, if they're working with their brother or their sister and the brother or sister is actually the problem and making the environment toxic, they need to be able to honestly say, look, bro, look, sis, you are the one that's causing a lot of issues here. Let's sort this out. Ooh. We need to be honest. We need to acknowledge. We need to take accountability. End of story.
I doubt if it's possible for one to hold their sibling accountable. Okay, guys, if you're hearing any drilling sound, there's a construction happening upstairs. It's part of being live, okay? We we get everything in between. Right, back to you, Zahira. I know a family business that, mashallah, was able to expand and grow and hire more people, and it became a fully functioning organization or a big corporate company. But now, the people in power are related. They are, siblings.
Yes.
And because of that, it became almost impossible to hold each other accountable. And especially in front of strangers. Come on. It's like I'm picking a side. I'm taking their side over your side. But we're forgetting that this is a professional space.
Yeah.
These are people that you've asked to leave the family and homes and come to spend time with you. Even though, yes, you are paying them, they are rendering a service, but they've made a sacrifice, to come and be part of this organization and invest their years to make it grow. Now, holding your sibling accountable, how does one do that? Because not many people know how to do that, especially some directors.
It can be done though. I have seen many companies, I won't name the company, but it is a family run business. It is a big conglomerate. And when it comes to work, when they are sitting in the boardroom, nobody calls anybody dad. Nobody calls anybody by their brother, or it's professional. In that boardroom, my brother is actually a business partner. He's not a family member. So it boils down to possibly the family structure, and they need to have that conversation that when it comes to work, work is work. This is where boundaries need to be drawn. And whatever happens at the workplace stays at the workplace. And when we come home, it's back to family life. Each day should be spent in a joyous occasion, not with business and issues from the office.
I love the fact that you mentioned boundaries there, because it's very important to clear out what belongs at work and what is able to come home.
Definitely.
And not just with siblings, but also with spouses. If you'll decide to become business partners, most of the times it's either the relationship is going to take a hit or the business is going to take a hit. One of the two. So having to lay out boundaries crystal clear, as well as roles, who's doing what, really does help. Thank you so much for raising that. Now back to the workplace environment. What really causes a workplace environment to be so toxic to a point where somebody is going to be, you know what, I don't care, this economy is hard, I'm not staying here, I'm gone.
Yeah.
What causes that?
It's so sad, but I think we both know. It's definitely favoritism, gossiping, cliques, and bullying, and all these things that I've mentioned.
And victimization.
And victimization, and all these things that I've mentioned are actually topics on their own, which we can get into more detail. But those are the little things which causes an environment to become toxic. And also when management cannot control that behavior. Management and leaders need to be able to say, hey, what are you doing? Stop with the gossiping. Stop with the cliques. Because at the end of the day, I will always say this again, and you're going to probably get sick of me. Work is work.
Work is work.
Nobody is your friend at work. People need to also realize that nobody is your friend at work. Everybody's there to do a job and go home.
Well, I mean, I like a little favor here and there, okay? But, okay, work is work, end of the day.
Okay, don't get me wrong. Okay, if you by chance find that person at work that you can use as an anchor, please hold on to that person, because you will need that anchorage. You will need somebody to lean on. And if you are one of the lucky people to find somebody at your workplace that is so toxic, congrats to you, and may you guys really continue to be close and help each other out.
Well, you can send in your messages on 060-904-1056. We will open up the lines on 0861 904 904. That's 0861 904 904. If you wish to remain anonymous, not a problem at all. You can send us a text on 060-904-1056. Zahira is a professional. She is an excellent hold on, I'm seeing this message here and I really want to read it. Zahira, I really want you to know what is happening here, but please just have this at the back of your mind, right? I want to continue with our interview, but I also want to deal with whatever is happening here. This message says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Kelly, I'd like to remain anonymous. All right. Kelly, I hope you and your team are well. My favorite topic. I believe that more human rights need to be exercised on the staff at the bottom end. That opening statement alone summarizes what we're about to talk about the show today. Meaning that managers and boss must learn to speak respectfully to their staff.
Definitely.
And there needs to be justice and accountability. For example, your boss must be disciplined or manager must be fined for treating a staff badly. Zahira, is that possible?
Definitely. It is definitely possible. Again, it comes from the higher management that can implement this. It is so possible. Talking about respect, everybody, whether you are the garden person or the person that's cleaning the rooms, human rights need to be exercised. And whoever sent you that message is spot on. And it starts from the bottom. In actual fact, a lot of companies don't realize that your junior staff hold a lot of weight.
100%.
They're the ones that are
the company functional.
There we go.
There you go.
Exactly.
And the message continues to say, there's a lot of vulgar in the workplace, especially in CMT factories. There are also nepotism in the workplace. If bosses and managers get you an easy work life, I believe everyone should earn the merit on the hard work and should bring to the table. Okay, I'm reading this message as is, right?
Yeah.
The Department of Labor, or CMA, I think it will be CCMA, but okay.
CCMA, yeah.
Needs to bring bosses and managers to accountability. Many of the times the managers give the wrong impression of you. I don't know where to stop. There's just a lot to talk about. Listen, I understand your frustration, and I want to first begin by thanking you so much for raising this matter, because many people are afraid, many people are scared, and especially as Muslims, we believe in concealing each other's fault. But is it to the expense of our mental health? Is it to the expense of the anxiety, the trauma that we get from the workplace, all in the name of, hey, this is your Muslim brother, you can't go out on the public and and share what you've experienced while working with them.
No, I don't think that being a Muslim should justify their behavior. As a Muslim,
you should actually be a good example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You are taught to be respectful, to treat your fellow brother or sister with respect. So to justify that as Muslims, we need to conceal their sins. No, I don't think we can say that. I'm not happy with that statement. And also in terms of vulgarity, again, this needs to be addressed. You know, when we're addressing situations at work, we need to be strategic about it.
100%.
So
don't be emotional, be strategic.
Easier said than done, Kelly. It is
takes a lot
so
of
much
practice.
easier said than done. And again, it's not only females that are emotional. I've seen males that get very, very emotional.
We
but
both know.
we need to be strategic.
Right.
When you are wanting to deal with the situation, you talk about clear boundaries. You go in and you speak to your manager or to your leader how to set clear boundaries, how to communicate, what's the processes and procedures that I need to follow. When you start talking about procedures and processes, you're talking about structure rather than conflict. And when you're talking about structure, managers or leaders will tend to lean more to the structure side. But when you start talking about emotional and so said this and so said this, then that's when they're like, okay, this person just wants to bring in some sort of conflict.
Right.
So we need to be strategic about it.
I love that you mentioned procedures and structure and protocol. What happens to someone, me, who follows all this and still end up on the
bad
side? Improvement side of matter.
That unfortunately will happen, but again, you need to go in strategically. When you are meeting with your manager or your leader, talk about how it's going to affect the business. Keep your emotions out of it.
100%.
So, for example, if there is a client that maybe somebody is working with and somebody else oversteps the boundaries, that's when you're going to speak to your manager and ask, what are the clear boundaries when it comes to clients and targets? And at the end of it, you will end up, for example, if the sales executive, if there's two sales execs and they are fighting over a client, which I've seen so many times.
Zahira, I absolutely love where we are heading, but I want you to hold on to that thought.
Okay, I'll hold on to it.
We do have a letter that came in regarding the exact same topic that you're talking about, but I just want to find out from you quickly with regards to the workplace environment and the toxicity. Is it possible to rectify, repair, or it's just not possible to recover from a toxicity? From a toxic workplace?
Wait, are you talking about people that have been through it, or are you talking about the people that are still in the workplace?
Both. People that have, because now if you have been through it but you left, clearly, there was no recovery or repair, or what should I say, restructure, whatever you can think of. But for people that are in it, is there hope?
Again, I will go back to my first statement. There is hope, but it lies in leadership. It lies in leadership being brutally honest with themselves in saying that there is a problem. And once they do that, the gap will then be covered and they will see the difference in the business performance, because I know a lot of leaders and managers, their focus is just targets, KPIs, processes, operations. Nobody ever looks at the emotional effects of the people running the business. Yes, we need to make our targets. Yes, we need to get month end sorted. But what about the people that you're putting the pressure on and not assisting them to meet those targets? It is very much capable. Everybody, we can have such a positive workplace, but it starts at the top. And I think I mentioned it in your last show as well. Everything starts from the top.
Now let's talk about a trend that's been going on after COVID for some time, and it's called silent quitting, mostly known by Gen Zs, where they wouldn't leave the workplace, but they wouldn't challenge themselves to grow and become better. They'll just give it a bare minimum and just call it a day. Now, we all know this affects or impacts, rather, the customer service, but does it also contribute to toxicity? Is it a form of...
I don't think so. Okay. So a lot of people think that the silent quitting is a form of laziness, attitude, lack of ethics, but it's actually not. It's actually the...
Don't give me ideas.
No.
Don't give me ideas.
It's not. It's actually that individual not feeling heard, that individual not getting the support that they need at work. And we call it a Gen Z thing. I mean, I don't agree with some of the things that Gen Z does, but they are very much in tune with their emotions. If they are anxious, they are going to speak up, and if nothing's done about it, then they're going to silently quit. I'm not like yay, but they have so much into mental health, and us millennials and boomers and Gen X, we were just trained to go with the flow.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely, because Gen Z, wow, the drilling is really loud. Gen Zs have actually transformed the workplace.
Definitely.
They have brought about changes that most people cannot believe, because they are, like you said, in tune with the emotions. They want a work-life balance. They cannot take the kind of bullying that is happening in the workplace, and studies show that these guys are leaving. They are going to be with you for 2 to 4 years max, and if they're not getting the emotional support from you, the mental support or teamwork or healthy environment, they will leave you. And so many bosses are coming forward saying that, oh no, this generation's aren't serious, they are so rude, they're so that. But the truth is, they are actually in tune with the emotions.
Exactly.
And they require you to play your part.
Exactly, 100%. I mean, I did have a Gen Z guy that I used to work with, and he was brilliant, but he was intact with his emotions.
100%.
After 5 o'clock, his phone was off. No work phone calls. And I had a Gen X having to deal with him. And the Gen X could not believe, why didn't you answer me at 9 o'clock in the night? And the Gen Z was like, no,
it's not working out.
My time.
You're not paying me for that. So what do you expect?
And he was so relaxed about it. But that was like a wake-up call for myself. Like, look at this young man having the audacity to speak like that to the Gen X, you know?
Now, Zahira, we've got quite a lot of messages coming in. I absolutely love the fact that you all are taking the time to send in your messages. We appreciate that. Please keep them coming. We've got a letter that came in, and it says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Kelly, my name is Aisha and I'm 25 years of age. I work in sales and strive very hard to build a good relationship with my clients. However, my colleagues have been stepping in and taking over my clients, sometimes going as far as finalizing the deals that I have initiated. I feel frustrated because every time I bring this up, I am told by my manager that this is all part of teamwork. What advice do you have for them? And I know you were touching on this earlier on. Go ahead, tell us.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum, Aisha. I hope you're listening. So, Aisha, teamwork is definitely important, but there's a difference between collaboration and overstepping boundaries, and that's exactly what your teammate is doing. What I would like you to do, and think about it, as I told Kelly, we need to deal with this strategically. Okay, put our emotions aside. So when you are going to discuss this with your manager, I want you to speak in terms of the business. Please don't use words like they are stealing my client.
Oh, okay.
It's not your client.
It's the company.
Yes, it is your client. Okay. But in hindsight, it's the company's client. So do not say stealing. Do not use that word. Do not use my client. What you're going to do is you're going to ask, hi, so-and-so, what can you please advise what the process is when it comes to communication of acquisition of new sales, and how do we finalize a deal? Okay, so much so you can even go on to say that, for example, this so-called client of yours, give the facts that they've brought in this amount and I'm finalizing a deal. However, so-and-so is now also calling on them, and I don't want the company to look like we don't know what we're doing.
Smart. Love
Strategic.
that.
Don't forget about yourself. In the back of your mind, it's all about the company. If the manager is an intelligent person, which I'm hoping he or she is, they will then click and be like, oh goodness, it's actually the company's name at risk, not Aisha's name.
Yeah.
So Aisha, please, I know it's difficult, emotions aside, but try and be strategic. Talk exactly about what I said. Okay.
Wow, that is a very smart move, hey? Strategic is what we'll do. Now, quickly wrapping up with your messages. Now, favoritism and nepotism is a slow poison for loyal, hardworking employee. If an employee or employer, I don't know, given an idea to have a charge in the office to make progress, but management or directors are not paying attention to the idea. I also left many jobs because of the higher management. Can your consultation help those people who have been victim of their management system?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
So I think you'd be able to give them my details.
Okay, because I got another message that says, I would like to connect with the Zahira. Is that possible? And how do I do so? Zahira, this is your moment. Share with us your details.
Okay, you are very welcome to contact me on 071 302 4758, or you can pop me an email on info@zyyconsulting.co.za.
All right, info@zyyy.co.za. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, I got another message. Does she do workplace workshops?
Yes, I do. Okay. Again, you can contact me directly on the mobile number that I just gave, or you can please send me an email.
All right, fantastic. Now, Zahira, before we wrap up the show, I want to hear from you. Advice, statement, anything. Share with us something that we can remember this day, this interview.
Okay. Well, hang in there to everybody that is going through this. It's very difficult, but you are not alone. There are so many people that are going through workplace toxicity. And remember something, if you resign and leave a job because of the environment, that doesn't make you weak. You are actually stronger than you think. And don't listen to the negative people about, oh, you should be happy you have a job. Yes, you should be happy. But in the same breath, your mental health is also something very important, and something that if you lose, you are going to struggle to get it back.
Absolutely. Just adding on to that, your workplace can replace you, but your family cannot.
Exactly.
So if you can take a moment to think about your priorities. As much as we want to have a good life, we want to have a great income and so forth, but the people that we love the most want us sane, not insane. All right, Zahira, just quickly.
Okay, quickly. Okay, so I have a little story.
Sure.
This is, I'm not sure you've heard of the Ritz-Carlton, and they have one rule,
right,
and no other hotel dares to copy. So this is an employee from anybody, from the gardener to housekeeping to front desk, can spend up to $2,000 to fix a problem. No approval from managers is needed, just total trust. In the 1980s, I'm almost done. In the 1980s, okay, I'm giving away my age now, the hotel was struggling with inconsistency. Then the president of the hotel saw that the real problem was actually the staff and the system. So he flipped it. He said that anybody can spend up to $2,000, and in one night, an employee actually shipped a medical charger and another replaced a child's lost stuffed toy. So what does this teach us? That the freedom to act is built on trust. And this is what the president did.
Wow.
And by doing so, he actually improved the service, and the revenue went up. The business performance was absolutely amazing.
I think in the next talk, we'll talk about practical ways that managers and employers can improve their workplace by changing or shifting a few of their policies. I have to wrap up now because it's